Right, good afternoon and welcome to my continuation of reviewing my favourite images month by month for 2024. This is the second part where I will review and talk about the 6 images from July through to December. So, welcome, and just to say a couple of things, I'll try and put up footage that was captured at the time before I discuss the image, and also I will try and put up links on the video that link to the appropriate videos when these images were actually captured. I'm not quite sure whether that will work, but I will certainly put all the links in the description below. I'm just not quite sure how many links I can put in the video. I've certainly put a link before, but whether I can put 6 links, I'm not quite sure. So yeah, so that's what we'll do, and yeah, we'll see you shortly in July. Right, as I've mentioned a number of times, I have a monthly meeting in Gateshead that I normally go to, and in July on the way over there I stopped at the Angel of the North, and I must admit it's not an easy statue, industrial art or whatever you want to call it, to actually capture. It's surrounded it's on a bit of a hill, so as you go further away you drop down, and when you're actually in the park that it's in, you're very close, and even with a very wide angle lens it's difficult to capture the whole thing. There is a bit of a field that's on a rise that you can go to, and you can get quite a good image of the whole thing. But while I was there, I did get the drone out and took some drone footage and take some drone images. And I just like this image. It's just something that's a bit different. Obviously, we're on the drone looking down on the statue here. Down at the bottom here, that's the front of the statue, and at the top, that's the back. And obviously, we've got the 2 wings there. You can see there's obviously been birds around here, but I just felt I just really like it that it's just something a little bit different to the normal image, and I just think it's really good. It was the first time I'd been. It was one of those places that must go to the Angel of the North, and you see it when you're going on the A1, but it's not always obvious exactly. For me, when I've driven around, it's not been obvious where it actually is, and it is actually very accessible. The road, you come off the A1 and you come there, and yeah, there's parking and that, and it's really good. But yeah, it's never going to win any competitions and that, but I just like it because it's unusual. It's somewhere I've always wanted to go, and it just shows, even with although it wasn't that cheap, a cheap drone. This is with DJI Mini 2. You can still get quite good images. In the settings, it's a fixed 2.8 lens. It's a 50th of a second, and to get that, the ISO was up to 400. So yeah, no, it's a brilliant image, and that was July, and we'll see you shortly in August. Right, well, we've not come much further than where we got the last image from. Just come down, and if we turn around here, we'll see we've got the camera there, and then we're looking onto the reservoir with some heather in front of us, etc. So yeah, that's how well it'll come out, I'm not quite sure, but that's another image, and we're maybe going to walk round by the reservoir, have a look at the other reservoir, see if there's anything we can come up with, and then we're going to head up to the top. And I just bumped into somebody and they sort of said it's going to rain shortly, but I don't know. There are some black clouds, there's some sun about, so we'll see. If this image is any good, we'll put it up and then we'll see you a little bit later. Right, and now you find us in August, and August in the UK is quite a good month for capturing images of heather. And one place that is renowned for it is a place called Home Fell, and this image was captured on a trip up Home Fell. Now the actual top of Home Fell is more or less ish behind me from where I've taken this image. This is on, I suppose, the lower slopes, and this is the map describes it as a disused reservoir, and you can see why. I think, I can't remember, it's over there around here, there's a dam, and I'm assuming it was built many years ago to supply some of the farms, etc., that are down in the valley over that way. But yeah, to me this is one of the best heather images that I've managed to capture so far. It's just, we've got the nice reddy, lilac-y, whatever colours of the heather here. There's some nice colours in the tarn disused reservoir there, and we've got the trees round giving a background, and then there's this dead tree here that is quite nice as well. Given that it is a 16:9 format, I've obviously cropped it, and we can see if we just go into the crop function, I will have whether I've literally just cropped it down, and or maybe it isn't. Sorry, I apologise. I thought it was and it's not. It's the standard 3:2. And what I was going to say, this computer is slow at times. I have got the full tree in. It's very tight. That's why I was thinking I'd maybe cropped it. But fortunately, when I captured the image, I'd checked the edges to make sure that the full tree was in. So yeah, that's I quite like that. An image, you've got a mountain in the back there. That's part of the Langdale Pikes there, and yeah, it's just a really colourful and late summer image. It's not quite into autumn, although there is some things are starting to change colour, but we've got the brightness of the heather. So yeah, so that was August, and we'll see you shortly in September. Right, we've finally made it to the top of steeple. We've climbed a steeple, or come down to it, should we say, in a sense. Now, just looking in the direction we've come from, you can see there is Little Gouda and Haycock, and as we come round here, we can see there that's Stoat Fell, Little Stoat Fell and Great Stoat Fell, and I don't know how well you can see. If you come down a bit, yeah, that's the path that comes down and up to here. And as I said, we had planned, and we're not going to do, to go to Pillar. Now that is Pillar there. It's still quite a way to get there. We're less than 2 hours from sunset. So, and I think we've taken, bit off more than I could chew. I mean, we've done what, over 6 miles so far, so it's going to be possibly not quite as much to get back, but it's going to be well over 10 miles. So if we look around here, we get to the lake, and we're parked by the lake down there. So as you can see, it's quite a way. So partly we're feeling a bit tired, and partly we've run out of time. But I have taken some handheld pictures here of pillar with the cloud, shadows of the clouds going over. It's a bit difficult because one composition I chose, you could see my shadow in, which didn't help. So yeah, we've taken some of pillar, so we can say we've come and seen it, and taken some images of the path, how well they come out, because there's a high dynamic range there with the sky, and then the crags and the path, which are almost in the shade. So if we just come along here, I've never been on this path. I have been to Steeple, but it was when I was doing the Wainwrights, and from here I went back up and then to Haycock, so I was going back the way we've come. But there is a path literally going straight down there. You can see bits of it. I'm not totally sure exactly where it goes, but I'm sure we'll find it. We'll get down there, we'll get back to the van, and we'll head home. The sun is starting to, if we get any, as we're going down, if we get any stunning looking images, we'll stop and capture those if the sun dips and puts colour on some of these mountains. So yeah, I've probably waffled enough there. We'll put some of the handheld images up, and we'll see you a little bit later. Right, and you find us in September. In September I did go for a big hike, and I don't think I was feeling the best at the time, and to a certain extent I bit off more than I could chew. But the idea was to go from Ennerdale Water, go up to a mountain that I have been before because I've done all the Wainwrights, but wanted particularly to go back, and that's one called Steeple, and this is Steeple here. It's off the main mountain. You drop, which is over here, you drop down and you come back up, and yeah, it does point up on that, and it's hence the name Steeple. And originally the idea was to come here and then carry on to is that Great Gable, or I'm forgetting now, and then carry on, but time was marching on, so I actually dropped down from Steeple, and because I'd taken on too much, as I was coming down it was getting dark, and the last bit was coming down with the head torch, so yeah, and I was tired, so that wasn't brilliant, but it was a brilliant day, and I just was trying to take various images from Steeple looking to Pillar. I've got it there. Why was I thinking Great Gate? Was to come back down and go on to Pillar and then back down to Ennerdale, but as I say, time. And so we've got, and I think these are called, looking at the keywords I've put in there, this would be Black Crag, and then we've got Pillar there. So we've got the layers. We've got part of Steeple, whoops, we've got the Black Crags there, and this is, I think it's Stoke Fell across here, and then we've got Pillar at the back, and I'm not quite sure what those are. We've got a couple more mountains in the very background giving us layers, and a couple there, and a moody sky, but there is dappled light, I suppose you'd call it, on Pillar. You've got this in shade, which would probably be shade from Steeple, and then we've got some light there, and we've got light here, and I think it just shows the beauty of the high fells in the Lake District. Yeah, It's that's why I enjoy doing landscape photography and going out. There's so many scenes that just are majestic. I think that's the only way you can describe them, and I think this image captures them quite well. So yeah, we'll leave that there, and we'll see you in October next. Right, well, you now find us in October, and I did do a video about going to Tarn House, but I parked at the lower car park and then went up what's called Tom Gill, and there's a number of waterfalls on the gill there, and I have captured this one before, and it's just a really nice waterfall spreading around, etc. But I think what adds to this is you've got the leaves, and it's obviously we're in September and we're starting to get into autumn. The leaves are falling, but we've still got some green with the mosses, and we've got this twig here. A judge would probably say it should have been removed, but that was there, and I just think that the colours, the way the water goes around and that, and I do like a long exposure with the waterfall, not too long, and as we can see, this is half a second at f8 and 100 ISO, so it was obviously relatively bright, not so bright that I needed an ND filter, but obviously you can see here from the keywords there was a circular polarizer on. So yeah, it's just, I suppose partly this sums up what a lot of the waterfalls might be are like in the Lake District. It's not a majestic, awesome one with a huge drop and that, but it's just the colour and that, and yeah, it's one of my favourite waterfall pictures, and I would highly recommend going up to Tarn House is a nice place to walk around. It's and that, but if you park at the lower car park and walk up Tom Gill, there's about 3 or 4 or more different falls on the way up, and to me this is one of the nicest, one of the most picturesque. So yeah, so that's October, and we'll go to November next. Right, well, I've made it down the gully to the various falls, and you can see there in front of me, that's the main falls. As I say, they come down, let's zoom in. So they come down, coming at that angle onto that ledge there, and then they come down, and then they bend round again, and there's various little falls going all the way down that way, and then the river carries on. So yeah, it's quite impressive. The colours, there are some autumn colours. To say it's autumn glory is maybe a bit of an exaggeration. I'm sure at times it would have been a lot different. But I mean, there are, as I say, there are some colours there. So what we'll do, we'll have a mooch around. I thought what we'd do would start at the top here and then slowly work our way down. And that, I mean, it's probably about getting on for 11 o'clock now, or maybe slightly after, and I've basically got as long as I want. Sunset's probably round about 5 o'clock time, so I've got plenty of time, hopefully, to get lots of nice images, some of which I'll blog, some of which I won't. Some of the ones I haven't vlogged I may actually put up, we'll see. So yeah, we'll have a mooch around, see what I can see, and we'll see you a little bit later. Right, in November I had another day out in the Yorkshire Dales, but just went to one, I suppose you call it one set of waterfalls. It's called, we've got Scale Force, but there are numerous images to be had. The river comes along the top and it drops down this fall here, then it bends round coming down here, and then the river carries on, and there's at least another 3 or 4 smaller falls going down there that you can capture, or capture them and the main falls in the background. I'm not quite sure, it was a bit dodgy when I was there, but I don't know whether you'd be able to get up to there to look across to these falls, but with all the leaves, and it was quite slippy and damp, I didn't try going up there. But this is, I mean, Scale Force is a magnificent waterfall, and the idea was to catch it in its autumn glory, and I was thinking I might be a bit late, and when I got there the trees had lost most of the leaves, but we've got the leaves round here, the colours, the autumn colours of the leaves and that, and they're scattered around, and it just, the green, the browny golden colour of the fallen leaves, and the waterfall, I just really like it. And on this one I've done a slightly, rather than just focusing on the waterfall, trying to capture it in its environment, that you can see the top ones, and then whoa, oh come on, the middle falls coming down here, and then you got the plunge pool, and quite wide with these rocks and the leaves around. If I just, I don't know whether you see, if I just gone in and captured that, yeah, I mean, that's quite nice, but I just think it just gives it something that you wouldn't get if you were focusing in too much on the main falls. As you can see, I've used a 16 to 35 lens, and it's at 18mm, so it is quite wide. Again, you're in a bit of when you drop down here, you're in a bit of a canyon or gorge, and there's lots and lots of trees at both sides, so there's not a huge amount of light. So as you see, I'm at f8, 100 ISO, which has given me an 1/8 of a second exposure, and again there was a circular polarizer on, but I didn't need any ending filters to get down to that speed due to, as I say, being in this steep ravine where the light struggles to get through a bit. But yeah, this is just outside Settle. It's not obvious. The road comes round and then it goes round here, and you can see the river from the road, but it will be easy to drive past it. Up this way there is sort of enough space for maybe maximum, say, half a dozen cars just to park on the side of the road, and then there's a ladder style over, I think, is it a ladder style? No, it might actually be steps on the wall to come over the wall, and then you come here and then you make your way down into the ravine. So yeah, it's well worth a visit, and yeah, it's one that I could go back to time and time again. So yeah, so that was November, and we'll see you shortly in December. Right, we're now at Crow Park, and this is probably a couple of hours later. I've hung about quite a bit, and there's a cafe just over in that direction. I waited for it to open, and I've had a coffee. And because the app was saying possibly fog round about this time, but obviously, as you can see, there's no mist, there's no fog, and although there is, if we look up at the sky, there is probably less cloud cover than it was saying. So yeah, there is some dark clouds, and you'll have seen from the images I put up from Isthmus Bay that we did actually get a little bit of colour, fleetingly, but we did get a bit of colour, so that was right. It's just the mist that is just totally absent today. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to take some images here and then we'll head back home, I think, because I need to get these images sorted and the video done, because today's Saturday and I want to put up the video tomorrow. So it's going to be a fairly short video. Yeah, it's disappointing. I need to understand these apps better, understand the forecast and what will give good conditions, particularly mist, etc. I mean, I do understand about sunrise and sunset, and it was a bit of a, not an iffy one, but there was no guarantee. I mean, if you've got virtually quite a good cover at high level and virtually no medium and low level, you will get quite a good sunset or sunrise depending on the time of the day. But yeah, so as I say, we did get some colour. As you can see, there's quite a few people out and about now. It's yeah, I mean, it's we're in the lakes, and during the week now, given that we're in middle of December, it is quite quiet, but the weekends are still quite busy. So yeah, so we'll maybe take a couple more images. The light's gone flat again. There was a little bit of light on Catbells a short while ago. It's gone a little bit flat again. We'll take a few more images and then we'll head back home. So anyway, we'll see you a little bit later. And now we come to December, the final month of the year. Well, we're still in December, and I don't seem to have got many images in December, and the weather hasn't been kind in terms of getting good weather to getting good images. And this is just a local scene for me anyway. This is, I came down to Derwent Water, which this is Derwent Water, hoping for a bit of colour in the sky at sunrise and then some mist. I did get a smidgen of colour but didn't get any mist. Now, whether I'd misread the apps and that or what, or whether, as in forecasting, the weather isn't totally accurate. But on this image, I've actually zoomed in a bit. You can see I've got the 70 to 200 and I'm at 173 mil, and I'm on Crow Park. But what we've got here, this is Derwent Island, where there is a house on the island, and obviously there's boat houses there and a jetty there. So for the people that live on there, they have to get a boat out and then a boat back to get to off the island. And what you've got behind now, this is Catbells. That's the summit, and as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 people on the top there. There's some there on the way up. So yeah, and often this image is taken from a similar spot, but zoomed out, so you can see the edges of the island and that. And I just thought it'd be different to zoom in, and there is a bit of light on the island here. So yeah, you've got the lawn and the green there is quite lit up, but Catbells and that, there's no specific light on it. Is it just the diffused light from the cloud cover and that? But I quite like it. As I say, I'm struggling. I don't seem to have a lot of images from December to choose from, and as I say, we're not through yet, so one never knows. I might get I'm planning on going out tomorrow, but again, I don't think we're going to have brilliant weather. So yeah, it's just zooming in, catching the colour there. I just think it's a nice image, and that was the final image of the year. So there we have it. That was the second part of review of my favourite 12 images, one from each month of 2024. So just to remind people, if you've enjoyed the video, please click the thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and you're not subscribed, why not subscribe? It would be much appreciated, as it does the channel great help, and it helps it to be pushed around for more people to see. And if you've got any comments, please comment, whether it's about any of the individual images, whether it's about landscape photography, or about the Lake District, or any of the other areas that these images are from. Please do comment, and I do answer all comments, even if it's just a thank you. So yeah, all being well, this second part will be coming out on the 1st of January. So we'll wish you a happy new year, hope that 2025 is a good year for us all, and we'll see you on the next video.